Hi everybody, this is Dutch at Mystic Mountain Homestead, and today we're going to be working on bees again, and we're going to be talking about preparing for winter on Varroa mites and hive beetles, how to deal with those issues.
Should I say what? Hi, this is Kimberly from Skiatook Bee Supply, here today with Mystic Mountain Homestead. I'm doing a hive inspection on this colony. This colony has been a wonderful colony and very productive this year. It produced two full medium chambers with honey in it, and that is about 25 to 29 pints of honey per chamber, or medium honey super. So this has been an extremely productive colony this year, and we have run into a small problem with some hive beetles this September. And since it's September, we are in the process of getting this colony ready for winter, checking the numbers, making sure everything's right with the amount of honey they have stored. And we have reduced the colony, taking off the honey supers, but we do need to address the hive beetles. And what we've done is we've gone in and we've done a powder sugar dust on the colony. Now what that is we've literally taken powdered sugar and dusted it over the top of the brood frames. And when we did this, this knocks down the Varroa mite and the small hive beetle at the same time. And what is wonderful about it, if you have the correct type bottom board on your colony, the one that has a tray with oil in it, those hive beetles and Varroa mites will fall into that tray and die. And so that's what we're looking to get rid of, the Varroa mites and the hive beetles at the same time. So I'm going to open up this colony today, because while we were working on knocking those down with that powdered sugar dust, we removed the hive beetle traps from the colony. And so today we're going to be adding a new set of hive beetle traps in there to also further assist in any hive beetles that were in the colony, because we do not want them overwintering. So when you get in here, we look in here, we're going to see a lot of white powdery sugar still on the tops of the frames, and that's going to be normal. Most of it the bees have has been knocked off onto the bees and caused the bees to go through a grooming frenzy, which knocks the hive beetles down and Varroa mites at the same time. So we're going to start by opening up this colony and see what's going on. So here we go. We're going to get into this colony. We're going to take off the brick here. This is just to keep the wind from blowing it over, because we are in Oklahoma and we do have those high winds. So we're going to pop off the lid. This is going to be easy to take off, since I was just in here a couple days ago, and that's why we're coming back to do this little inspection here. Take a look at all those bees. Isn't this lovely? You can still see a remnant of the powdered sugar left on top of the frames. And what I did is, when I powdered sugared this over, it's 1 cup, by the way, 1 cup of powdered sugar per box that you have on here. That's deep or
And do you powder it straight from the top, or do you move each box and powder each box?
I go through, I take out all the hive beetle traps that are in the box and remove them, put the box back together, and then I go to the top box, and like this box is 3 deep. You can see 3 individual boxes here. We have a honey super on and 2 brood chambers. So for every box we add 1 cup of powdered sugar. So I use 3 cups of powdered sugar on this.
And like I said, do you powder each individual box, or do you powder just all of them at once from the top?
I powder them all at once.
Okay.
And what I did is I used this bag of powdered sugar. I didn't have one of the little sifters, kind of like what Grandma used to use to make biscuits with. So I used this little strainer here. It worked just great. Dumped the cup of powdered sugar in. Used this little half cup and did it twice for each box, so it equaled 3 total cups. And I dumped that in there, and I just sifted it over the top of the frames like this. And that left all this powdered sugar over the top, little bees flying up like they were little ghosts. Doesn't hurt them at all. And then I took a bee brush and I started just brushing all that powdered sugar down inside. And the bees will clean up a lot of it. As you can see, we have just a little residue left here on the top of the colony. And what happens is they groom themselves, and it knocks those Varroa mites and hive beetles down all the way through the bottom into the oil tray at the bottom of the colony, and therefore they'll die in that oil down there because they can't get out. So that minimizes the amount of pests inside the colony. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, take a look, kind of see what we see in there, and add hive beetle traps. What we might do at first though is come over here and take a look at the oil tray. This is an older hive, so it's got an oil tray in here that's kind of grungy looking, but that does not hinder its performance. So look at all those hive beetles. We have a bee or two that got in there as I was adding the oil back in. But see all those hive beetles? The hive beetles were just terrible in this colony. And you can see all these little bigger black specks there. Those are hive beetles. And then if you were to analyze closely, you're also going to see Varroa mites in here that have fallen down. So it's working for us. This is a wonderful treatment if you've got honey on the colony and want to knock down Varroa mites and hive beetles at the same time. So I'm going to pop this off here. This is our honey super. It's pretty light, but there was a little bit of honey in it, so I wanted to leave it on because I think we're going to leave it on for winter. And then you can look right down in here and see they've cleaned most of the powdered sugar up that fell down in between. Just a little bit here and there was left on the colony. They will clean that up as time passes too. So I'm going to break this loose. I'm going to pull this one down. Oh, look, there's more bees. So our main cluster is downstairs. Look how thick they are right in there. Isn't that lovely? That's what we want to see. Lots of bees in the colony. So now we're going to add in the hive beetle traps. I've already got one broken off here. And I have a little bottle of hive beetle oil. This is a hive beetle bait oil that I'm using inside these traps. I don't recommend you use just plain cooking oil or diatomaceous earth. I've heard some people say that, but this is what works, and I want you to use what works because there's no sense wasting time when you're in the colony. You want to do what works. Now you do have to be careful not to spill this on the bees.
Do you have a website that they can order that stuff from you?
You know, I do not have a website. I have done orders where people give me a call or email me at kstowell6@aol.com. I do have a beekeeping supply shop located in Skiatook, Oklahoma.
Do you have a Facebook page?
I do. That's if you'll look at Skiatook Bee Supply, you'll see my Facebook page, and I'm constantly posting to that page different things of what I'm doing or what I'm seeing in the environment so that we can help our bees.
We'll make sure we get that down there in the description for you guys.
Okay, I appreciate that. So here's the hive beetle bait oil. Notice how the color changed when I shook the bottle. And so we want that bait in here because that will draw the hive beetles that are inside the colony that are left to it. I don't suspect that we're going to have a lot left right now, but we're going to slide this down between the frames just like that. And every box gets 2 traps. Even the honey super gets 2, and I only fill those about that full because we don't want to spill it on the bees. So we just gently work it down in between where the bees are at. I always like to make sure the little bees get out from underneath it. I don't want to squish anybody. So I just give it little light taps until I get it down. And then we're going to start putting the colony back together. So this is our deep honey for the winter. This has got some honey in it. Not a ton, but quite a bit. Still pretty heavy. We will be feeding come October some 2-to-1 to just boost the honey stores, make sure they have plenty. And then we're going to do probably do a video then possibly on winterizing the colony. Just how we put all the parts together so that it helps our bees survive the winter. So I got that up there, and I still need to get a couple of hive beetle traps in there. Just going to go ahead and just break a few of these off just like this. I need 2 per box. Since I already set that box back up there, I'm just going to lift up from this side, just like that, and slide them in. Here we go. So one thing that I noticed when I opened up this colony, I didn't see any hive beetles. And that doesn't mean that powder sugaring will take care of the entire problem, but it will definitely make a huge difference in the hive beetle numbers within a colony. So it is a recommended practice to do that while getting the bees ready for winter anyway, because it knocks down those numbers, and hive beetles will winter inside the cluster in winter time and then attack your hive in spring. And while they're wintering inside that winter cluster, they will consume honey, and you want that honey in your colony for your bees. So one thing I did notice, this colony does not have a propolis trap. And if you don't put a propolis trap on top of the hive, the bees will begin putting propolis all over the screen, and that practically ruins the screen because it can't be cleaned off well.
What's the best method to clean it off?
You really have to replace this screen. You could try using a heat torch, very quickly running across it and melting the propolis, seeing if you could get it off. But it's best actually not to allow this to happen. But sometimes it does happen if it gets forgotten. And out here today, I don't have a propolis trap to put on here. So we're just going to replace it back because this does allow heat to escape from the top of the colony on warm days. So we're just going to close this hive up. I'm happy to see all those hive beetles that were in the oil trap. We did good with this colony.
Well guys, that's how to handle Varroa mites and hive beetles with dusting them with powdered sugar. Please remember to smash that thumbs up button. It truly helps our channel and lets us know you guys are actually out there watching and enjoying our content. Until next time.